Let's try it now. Raven fans, Orioles fans, thank you very much for joining us here. Day late. We apologize for that yesterday, but we're here with the Raven Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So definitely check us out on all of our platforms right now. We're live on Twitch. We're live on X. We're live on YouTube. Definitely like this. Obviously, you're going to be watching this. For those of you who watch this on Rumble, watch this on Spotify. Brave Sports Podcast, this is available on many different platforms. So definitely check that out. So we appreciate all of you like that. Apologize for the internet issues, quite frankly, yesterday that happened, but we're here today. So we're going to go ahead and try this and get this squared away for you. So definitely check it out. Genesis Notary Services, if you are in the Winchester, VA area. So if you are in the Winchester, VA area, definitely check us out as well. Notary work has been coming in, so we appreciate all of you. Phone pinging all the time from snap docs and people just reaching out in the area. So we appreciate that. Happy to help you with all your notary needs, all of you in the real estate Winchester area. We'd be happy to go ahead and square that away for you. Also to Charles Harris, we are LegalShield.com. Definitely to you young people, especially out here, that if you're out here trying to go ahead and get yourself squared away with your business, with all your things that you got going on, especially if you want to get a will done. Absolutely, if you want to get a will done, definitely check out Ravery Sports. Not Raven Sports. Check out Legal Shield. It's a great resource for you. We'll go ahead and help you out with that. NFL pre and post game on April 23rd. So definitely we're going to get that taken care of on April 23rd. NFL pre and post game after the draft. So and before the draft. So we will be there before and after the NFL draft. We'll absolutely go ahead and get that squared away. So that's going to be something we do. I don't know how much that night I'm going to be on Driving to the Top productions. I definitely will be on with the guys. I don't know exactly what the plan is, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff going on that night with Driving to the Top productions as well. So if you're watching this live on that channel, thank you for watching as well. Almost at 500 on that. So we appreciate all of you out there for that. All right, so let's get some people watching. So I'm usually not here. All right. So thank you guys very much. We appreciate all of you for checking us out through all of our, also to our Twitter challenges, building that back up. That's the way it goes sometimes. All right. So we keep it moving. That's why we're on multiple platforms. All right. So let's go ahead. A couple things. We were talking about this last night, so I'll go over these again. New uniforms are coming April 16th. So definitely too. RaverySports.company.site will be having new uniforms as well. So let's not fear not. We have Fanatics links. We still have them as well. We may be rolling out another platform where you can get our stuff as well. So don't fear not about the new uniforms. These ones that are still there are going to be great because now, like, you can't get them everywhere. So the older ones. So I'm looking forward to that too. Like, people are looking now, for older uniform or whatever, like, so that's going to be great too. We're going to have a lot of those as well. April 16th, definitely check that out. So the Ravens' new uniforms are coming out. They're going to have a presser as well. I don't know if they're going to have a presser, but they're going to have a release as well. Sure, there's a pre-draft presser coming soon. I've not heard that yet. So we'll go ahead and keep you updated with that. And I did this last night with this. And I'll recreate it a little bit here. Daniel Falele signing with the New York Giants. The New York.
Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
One more. It's true. Daniel Falele signs with the New York Giants. We're all excited about that. Nothing personal to Daniel Falele. He just wasn't very good as a right guard for the Ravens. I'm John Harbaugh must really believe he's good. I think that's look. He didn't have to do this. He could have made an excuse, but he actually signed on a 1-year deal. He's gonna. I don't think he's gonna start. I don't think he's gonna start anyway. But I don't think he's. I think he's a backup role there, competing for a starting job. So good for him. He's continuing his NFL career as well with a different team. So shout out about that as well. One other thing I did talk about, Lamar Jackson showing up to camp, voluntary camp, non-story in my opinion yesterday. I don't think, I'm surprised the national media really wants to latch on and wants to create a problem with Lamar, because Lamar is very problem free. He doesn't really say much to the media. He doesn't really have an agent for them to get stories. He kind of just shows up. He's never really missed any of the voluntary camps except for last year. So I think was the first time where he missed any of the voluntary stuff as far as camp goes. So I think the only other year where he didn't show up was when he didn't have the camp. We didn't have a contract. I think when it was in contract negotiations, he didn't show up to anything in April or anything, obviously. But that was the main thing. But shout out to Lamar. I think this is so sometimes media overblows things just to get clicks and views and narratives. Look, we're content creators or media people or whatever. You definitely want to be in the business of getting clicks and views and getting people to watch. But it has to be a story there. There is none. There's nothing to talk about. He showed up at camp. So what if he didn't? They're not going to bench him if he didn't, but he's here. He's usually here. It's amazing like how much this even became a thing. And anyway, all right. So definitely check that out. All right. So let's go ahead and get it popping with our NFL discussion, Ravens discussion this week. So we definitely got it right here. NFL for better or worse. I don't know how many of you watch For Better or Worse or watch Tyler Perry or anything like that, but I definitely did. I thoughtfully did. I'm a really more and more. I definitely know I'm a big fan of Michael Jai White. Definitely too. So he's definitely got some humor in him as well, but he's also too real. This was a comedy, but like maybe the toughest guy in the world. So you're seeing on the screen Angela, Marcus, Joseph, Leslie, Keisha, and I always forget one. Richard. There you go. All right. So for better or worse, but what we're talking about is not just Tyler Perry's show. We're talking about which NFL teams are better or worse. So this isn't just teams that are good or bad tiers. We're going to do that next week. But also, too, we're going to do things who's gotten better and who's gotten worse in the NFL. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, this is the much better, or affectionately called also Mo Better, right? Referencing the old Spike Lee movie. But these teams are gotten much better. I think these teams are 3 games plus better, definitely better position than they were last year. Giants definitely are much better. I think the Giants definitely, obviously, we all know that was dumb today getting Falele. I don't think he's going to play much. I think the Giants roster is much better than what people think it is. You got Daniel, I'm still on Daniel Falele. You got John Harbaugh now as coach. You're going to get Jackson Dart back. You're going to get Scatterbo. They've got a whole bunch of Ravens Pat Ricard, Isaiah Likely on offense. I think their offensive line is actually decent as it is. They have good pass rush. Now, they did have Dexter Lawrence asking for a trade. We'll see how that goes. But I definitely think early returns are the Giants, that they're going to be much better. Cowboys are not great also in that division. Factors in Commanders, we don't know. Philly may even be slipping a little bit. So we'll see with that. I think the Giants are much better. And the Minnesota's 3 games better just because Kyler Murray. Some of y'all don't like Kyler Murray. I understand that. I think Kyler Murray is a solid NFL quarterback. I don't know exactly what the problem is as well. He's not as good as maybe his pick. He's the number 1 overall pick. So I think some people may not, may have their opinions of that. But he's a solid NFL starter. Minnesota was a good team last year without anything close to that. So I think that makes them a lot better. I think that division is going to be a dogfight. I think that's probably the biggest thing, but I'm not sure the Bears, Packers, whatever, got much better. So I definitely think that the Vikings are definitely a 10-plus win team. 3 games better, I think, in that division. Those are really the only 2 that are much better. These are the faux better, right? So they're better. So they're better. 2 or 3 games better, a little bit better, all right, than they were. Bills, I think they are a little bit better. Yeah, so the Bills, I think they're a little bit better. They did get rid of the coach. They did get rid of the coach, Sean McDermott, as well. They got DJ Moore. That's big. That was probably the biggest weakness that they've had, is they didn't have a real true number 1 wide receiver since Stephon Diggs left. So Shakira really didn't work out, etc. I think that's huge as well. I think the defense has been really good. I think I definitely think that this is this team a little bit better. Steelers are a little bit better. Now that's prefaced with the fact that Aaron Rodgers is going to be there, which I think he's going to be there. I think you're going to have Aaron Rodgers there. I think Steelers are going to be a little bit better as well. Titans, I think, can only get better. I think with the draft and everything like that, I don't think they'll be at the bottom as well. I think mostly because of Cam Ward's development. I think they'll get. I still probably no playoffs, but I don't think they'll be at the very bottom, like 2-3 win. I won't go that far with them. I think they can be like at least 2 games better as well. Broncos, I think, are legitimately, I think, the best team maybe in the whole in the NFL. They're not the best team in the AFC. One of them, Broncos, there's a lot to like here as well. They went out and they go out and they get a big time. They go out to get Jalen Waddle, another big time receiver, again, filling the one thing that they didn't have. The only question is, how much better are you going to get Bo Nix? I think do they have a big time quarterback to go with that outstanding defense and the outstanding offensive mind, Sean Payton? But they're definitely right there. Raiders, kind of the same, kind of a lesser thing in Minnesota because Mendoza's there. They got to be a little bit better. I don't think they're going to be at the bottom as well. I think they're going to be other teams to replace them there. They did get Tyler Linderbaum trending up, I think, as well, slightly better. Commanders, I think, a little bit better, simply because, again, here's another team getting a quarterback back without Jalen Daniel. I think they were kind of worse than their record. I think they're better than their record was. I think they had a lot of injuries. I don't know if they're great, but better than that. I think they at least get to 7-8 wins. I think, I'd be surprised if that wasn't the case. Packers are a little bit better. Packers, I think, are just a good old solid organization as a whole. You got Jordan Love there. They did lose Malik Willis in free agency as well. Little surprised they let Walker go, but I think their offensive line is usually very, very good as well. Michael Parsons on defense is going to, for a full season, healthy, is going to really help them. I think the Packers, I think the Packers are going to be in Minnesota, are really going to fight it out, though, at the top of the division as well. Packers, I think, have been better than their actual record the last couple of years. Bucks, this is more based on, I don't think, in terms of whole shift of franchise, but I think they're better than 8-9, which is what they were last year. Bucks are okay. I think, they lost Mike Evans. They got to get Baker Mayfield kind of back on solid ground. I do think they are better because the division is so bad. I still think this is the best team in this division. So I do think because of that, in part, they will go ahead and win more games. I think that's it. Arizona, they can't get much worse. I think I kind of looked at it that way. There are for sure rebuilding as well, but I don't think they're going to be first, second pick in the draft. I think they'll win 2 more games. I think they'll get to 6 wins, 7 wins, something like that. I don't think they're that bad as well. Also, another team, the division, I don't think is quite full all the way through. These teams about same, okay, same. So I don't think they're much different. Same. Too hard to tell if they're going to go 1 game forward, 1 game 2 game back. It's kind of too hard to tell. Same. Pats, New England, about same. I don't think they're going to beat them. And he won a lot of games last year. They definitely did go out and do some things in the offseason. I can't help but laugh at Vrabel, man. Like, what are you doing? Oh, Coach Vrabel, what are you doing? Don't get me wrong. I've never seen he's been, good looking as long as bad he's as long as, but come on, man. You're on the spotlight. What are you doing? But let's see how that plays out. But that's probably the only negative. Otherwise, I think New England's going to be good. I think eventually people are going to stop laughing at this. He's going to go forward, and New England's going to win a lot of games. Jets, I think, are going to be just as bad as they were. I don't really see any hope with the Jets. They traded away some even their good players. I think this is bottom of the league. I think they're going to stay there. I think the same. Ravens, same. I don't know how much better they get. I think they're better than 8 and 9. I almost wanted to put them in the other category, but I think the Ravens 1 or 2 games better, maybe. Same. And in some ways, they're here. I don't really consider them at the record they were as well. I think about playoff team about that as well. Kind of slipped out of the elite, though, I will say. I think that's kind of true with the Ravens right now, at least. Well, we got to see a little bit more. Texans, about same. They're going to win the division. They're going to be right there in the division fight. They got to get the line better. I think that's the way they get better, but they really haven't done that yet. They've kind of made some changes on the line, but as well, defense is top drawer. I think they're going to stay top drawer. Chargers, same. Interesting to see how they do in the division, but I don't see them past anything what they've been, a good, solid playoff team. I think after this year, I think if they go out in the first round again, which I think could happen, there's going to be more heat on their coach, Jim Harbaugh, as well. Okay, you got us back. Let's see, how much better can you do as well. But same, good. Dallas, they're kind of where they are. They're kind of in the same spot. I don't think Dallas is any better or worse. I mean, in general, I think they're about middle of the road. Either way it goes. They have a lot of injuries. They could be bad. They have some luck to be good. They're about in the middle. I think they're about there. Bears, I think about saying they're going to win the division, possibly. They're in a tough division, but I don't think they got much better. I'm a little surprised that they didn't go for more. They got rid of DJ Moore. Obviously, Caleb Williams is developing, so you're happy about that. Defense, I think, is decent. About same. I think solid playoff team. I think that's what they still are. Carolina, I was tempted to put them in the 4 worst, but I'm going to leave them right there because I do think they got a little – I don't think they were as good as their record last year, which was only 8 and 9. So I think they can do that again. So I'm going to give them that as well. Saints, I think it's the same. I think they're still the worst team in that division. I'm not a Shout guy. I'm just not. Tyler Shout just doesn't work for me. They're getting rid of a lot of their vets. They're shutting some cap at least. So I think I think the Saints are still probably not that good. The Rams are the same. I think the Rams might be the best team in the league, NFL, if it's not Denver. I think the Rams they got better, I guess. But I didn't put them. I left them here because I think they've been really good. They were in the NFC Championship last year, so I think like they will. I don't know. 2 or 3 games better. I don't think so. I mean, they're already good. So I kind of left them in the same. Even though I think I like to move with Trent McDuffie as well. Worse, who's not as good? Bengals. They're not fixing the defense. They're not fixing the defense, and Joe Burrow's on the shelf a lot. Joe Burrow is just not the fact that they wanted Joe Flacco back kind of tells you something. That they assume that this guy may be getting hurt as well. So I don't think they're in any kind of contention this year. When I've seen they don't draft particularly well either. They kind of had some misses, so I think that might come back. Sometimes that comes back to hurt you the next year. So that's a thing. So put them in the worst category. Browns, yeah, no quarterback. I don't know how good Shador is, and Monken. Monken's been quite spicy in a lot of these pre-draft interviews. So we're seeing who the real Todd Monken is here as well. I don't know if I love that. Cool. Offensive line issues, period. I know they're not very good. I don't think they got any better. I think so. I think I definitely have them in the worst category. Jags, don't want to be too disrespectful to the Jags because I think they're still solid. I'm not a Trevor Lawrence buyer that they're going to do this again and win the division. They had a pretty good year last year. They won the division, even though they got eliminated in the wild card round. I don't think they do as well. I think I think it'll be 1 or 2 games worse. They haven't really also had an off season that really excites me as well. So I do think they're a little bit worse, a little bit behind the Texans. The Chefs are not good. I don't understand people that think that the Chefs are gonna. Their offense is really look without Pat Mahomes there. This team is really in the top 5 of the draft again. I think because of that is again. This is kind of more rating them as what people see them. I just want to make the point here. Kansas City is not good. They are for worse. They are. I don't know if they'll be 2-3 games worse, like 3-4, but that's a possibility. I don't think he'll win. I think they'll win more than 3 games with Mahomes healthy, which I'm not sure he is. So that's the other thing. So yeah, Kansas City not great. Eagles, I think they even with the slip, what I think they are, I think are still pretty good. The offensive line used to be the best in the NFL, so it's still good. There's some age now. There's some questions. So I question that. There's definitely real friction for some reason with Jalen Hurts. The Phillies are just a tough place to play, man. In terms of who would boo a Super Bowl winning quarterback? Only Philly fans. So that's a real thing. They may still win the division, but I think there's definitely slippage. Kind of the same with the Lions. Not quite what they were. I don't see any reason why they are had to get again. The line is so vital to their success. Not there. Getting rid of David Montgomery, even though you have a Jamar Gibbs, so they might be okay. But I'm more trending down. Definitely trending down with the Falcons. Falcons just I don't know what they have at all. Quarterback. I mean, you went out and they got rid of Cousins. They still have Michael Penix there as well. I don't know if they've established anything on defense as much as they've tried. They've had some draft picks. The one defensive guy got in some legal trouble. They did bring in Kevin Stefanski. I think what a good offensive coach. I mean, that doesn't help, but I don't know. I don't. They could be really bad as well. Seahawks, I kind of put them also in the. You almost have to put the Super Bowl winning team in the for worst category, even though I like them. They did lose Kenneth Walker, which could hurt them. So they may have a hole there at running back. They finally got really good production out of him. And as well, Darnold, I thought was really good. So slippage for them just might mean 10 wins or something like that. I don't think they win the Super Bowl again. I don't think they're in that division. Much worse, Miami's bad. Miami's really bad. Miami is really bad. I mean, they're basically almost on purpose. I mean, they got rid of Waddle, they got rid of Tyreek Hill, they got rid of Tua Tagovailoa. They did bring in Malik Willis, I think, to kind of study the ships, at least see what you got. I think you got to play somebody at quarterback, which is, and I think Willis might be okay. I mean, certainly he's in the right place for success as well. But I don't think Miami's any good. I think Miami may be the worst team in the league. Colts, I don't know why people think the Colts are good. I don't know. I don't see it. Daniel Jones, he was getting exposed before he got hurt. I think that almost helped him, frankly. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't really see it in the Colts. As far as that, defensively issues, offensively not great. They got rid of Pittman. I don't know. I think they're at the bottom. Niners, I think, are going to slip. It was amazing they did as well as they did. I don't think they're that bad. But playoffs and all that, I don't think so. I think that's overcooking the grits. I think it would help to get Brock Purdy healthy for a whole season, but that was an issue for them as well. There you go. For better or worse. So those teams got better. Those teams got worse. So definitely check that out as well. Who do you think got better or worse? So let me know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know. Definitely checking that out. Which teams got better, which teams got worse in the NFL. Next week, NFL cheers. So not just who got better, who got worse, who's good and bad in the league. No, we don't want to do that. All right. So it is a wrap for the college basketball season here. So let's go ahead and talk about the Final Four. People complaining about the Final Four. It really is, and just real quick, fascinating to me how much different the audiences are for college basketball and the NBA. It really is. Like, it seems like there's a lot of people, like national media, they're much harder on the NBA all the time for college basketball. And college basketball this wasn't a great game in terms of that, but this was who Michigan was if you watched them all year. So let's check out those few closing seconds here with the blue. Anybody who's ever been to Detroit will tell you what they call the blue.
Length of the floor, layup doesn't go, ball knocked around, slugged down the floor, Caravan trying to track it down, and he will. And it's over. Hail to the champions. Hail to Michigan. For the first time in 37 years,
Destin
the
May
Wolverines win the national title.
Dusty.
An unstoppable force in this tournament. 69-63, the final.
So hail to the victors, Michigan. Ohio State fans won't want to hear that, I'm sure, but that's the way it went. Definitely Michigan winning the national championship game there on Monday nights. So Michigan's was really good all year long. I think, obviously, if you look at a team not particularly in terms of aesthetic beauty, right? Kind of like the not the Lakers winning the title, but the Spurs winning the title, right? As well. Let's go over it as well, exactly what happened. Caravan, 17 points, 11 rebounds. Definitely he was the guy that was keeping him in the game. Best shooting night. That's saying something. There was a lot of bricks. Laying those bricks. When I used to play in Baltimore, like on the blacktop, whatever, there was always some guy on that said, "You're laying those bricks over there." That's what this was. I mean, this was really a bunch of bricks in this one as well. Terrace Reed inside. Again, he didn't shoot well, but 13 rebounds. There was a lot of rebounds we had. I thought the rebounding totals in this one was high. So you got one guy with 11, one guy with 14 as well. Braylon Mullins, the hero, to actually get him in the Final Four. Not as good in this one. He did have 11 points. And again, high rebounding total, 7 rebounds. I think it was like 3 of 17 or something like that in this one. Shot a lot from the outside, but missed a lot of shots. Michigan's defense, I thought, was outstanding. Michigan's defense has been outstanding all season long. So again, not watching again, like people were shocked by that. Like watching like the Big Ten. Landabor, this guy's underrated. I think he's fantastic. I think like definitely too. This is a guy that's going to play in the NBA. I don't know if he's a stud in the NBA, but I don't know that he's not either. I think he's definitely a guy with really all the tools like for the modern NBA. So he's a big that has great size, shoot from the outside, definitely can handle himself in the box, definitely can do all those things. Kind of like what you saw with Carlos Boozer for Duke this year, like that, but a taller, more experienced version. He hits all the food groups, right? Kind of like baseball term, like 5'2" athlete. That's kind of what you saw with him as well. Montez Johnson, again, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Again, another big rebounding night for him as well. This was kind of the guy. Their starting five was very, very good, I thought, all season long. Good depth for them. They had a decent enough bench, but their starting five was very, very good. Ellie Cadeau, I think, was probably, along with Landeboy, was the reason they won. 19 points, 2 assists, probably had the best offensive game of anybody on the court as well. And he's done that a couple times. You saw that when I saw Michigan this year, when Landeboy didn't have the great night, this guy always did. Cadeau, really solid junior as well. So I don't know if he's an NBA player. We'll see, but I think he was pretty good. Guards, it's a little tougher to tell, like sometimes as well if they go to next. So there's more guards available, but 19-2 as well. So Michigan closes out the college basketball season with a win. There you go, Michigan. Hail to Michigan. You used to have family in Michigan. That's a long story. But Michigan goes ahead and wins the title. Shout out for Michigan actually getting that done as well. College basketball, I thought is much better than place than they were a few years ago. So for sure. College basketball, I don't think is what it was like, or the supposed heyday in the 80s, whatever. But I think you're seeing it. You're seeing overseas guys actually now come to college basketball and play because they can make some money. You're seeing guys stay in college as well, transfer and go to schools. You're seeing a lot of that. So it's good. I thought that I just think the two teams in the finals with just their styles, it's not for everybody. The styles is, like the Spurs, like the Pacers, like the, a bit of that. So there you go with that. More NBA, since you brought it up. All right. So NBA season is about over. We're about to start here the playoffs. We're going to start talking playoffs after this. But the regular season, we're going to talk about what happened as well. So definitely check that out here as well. This isn't what the odds makers say. This is just what I've seen during the NBA season. If I was giving out the awards, this is what I would do. This isn't necessarily some of you expecting as far as gambling. I get it, but this is just kind of what I've seen with the NBA and the awards season as well. Rookie of the year, Maxime. That's how I keep calling him, Maxime. Renard of the Kings, putting him clearly in third place here as well. Good, solid role player, I think he's going to be. I think he was good. I think on the Kings team, he's getting more run. I'm thinking that he would get, but a good, solid role player. I think he's had some good games where he's going out. I think he definitely deserves to go ahead and do a 3. If you're going to go ahead and put a 3, I have him third place for the Rookie of the Year. Cooper Flag, I'm putting second. And it's hard. It was really hard to put him second. Clearly, I do think this is the best player going forward. I think he's fantastic. I think definitely, too. We talk about guys. We were just talking about Landerborg and those guys and guys who can do so many different things. Cooper Flag can do so many different things. He could be a shooter for his whole career. He could be a guy on the inside. And he's got a little more dog in him. He's going to definitely be a guy. I think in terms of his career, I don't think there's any question about if this is going to be the best player of this group. But he's missed a lot of games, still eligible. He's over 65 games. I think he's like at 67 games. I think he's missed a few games. In light of that, it's so close. I went with Koppel from his teammate, his Duke teammate. He's been terrific. He can shoot. This is the new Klay Thompson. I think when I'm seeing him, this guy you could put a guy like this on any team anywhere. Catch and shoot, shoot in the quarter, shoot, go to hit shots. Definitely too, kind of like Renard, probably scoring more because the team isn't any good. I don't know if he goes to a really good team and has this type of season, so we'll see. The team gets better if he can actually produce when the team gets better, like what we're seeing right now with Cade Cunningham, etc. But interesting to see. Flag, if you want to say flag, if you want to say tie, very close. But Flags missed so many games. I did want to go ahead and give it to Khan right there. Coach of the year, Joe Mazzulla. I think you didn't have your best player all year, and probably you're the second seed. I didn't think they would be. A lot of people had the Celtics written off this year, and Joe Mazzulla is a great coach. Love listening to his press conferences. Love listening to him, period. I can't be the only one. So, listening to him, if I'm motivated listening to this guy, and I don't even like the Celtics, I know his players, and a lot of them have to be. So, shout out to him. As well. Mazzulla is very impressive young guy as well. Mitch Johnson is another very impressive young guy. Now, you got a great player. I mean, I think that's for sure. You got a lot of good young players there in the Spurs. Surprise is happening this fast. Considering all the things that could have happened. If certainly Greg Popovich was there, I certainly would be like, yeah, well, but this guy's a stud. No question about it. Mitch Johnson, Bernie Bickerstaff. I think JB Bickerstaff. I think that's fantastic as well. JB Bickerstaff, but JB Bickerstaff and the Pistons even more so without Cade Cunningham down the stretch. This team, nobody. I don't think we kind of maybe thought the Knicks, Pacers, Celtics might take a step back. We didn't know who the Pistons have really answered the bell. This is a good team. I'm even more impressed with the way they played without Cade Cunningham being injured lately, beating the Lakers, snapping the Lakers' win streak, etc. Very impressive. So I think JB Bickerstaff, I would give him Coach of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year. Some of the names we know, this is all size. I looked at the guards. I just can't. I just couldn't do it. Rudy Gobert. This guy's only in the league for defense. I think he's an outstanding defender. He changes everything inside. All these guys change everything inside. He's solid, runs the floor very well. He's going to get you blocks. He's going to get you those defensive rebounds. He's been doing it for a long time. He's kind of always here too, isn't he? In terms of the top of the defensive list. So Rudy Gobert, shout out to him. Chet Holmgren, I think had it not been for Victor Wembanyama, we'd be really, really talking about him. But similar path. So skinny, man. Really. But Holmgren, I think is definitely the whole package in terms of that as well. Changes everything. I think when you go in there and he's playing, it looks totally different as when he's out the game as well. Moves the ball, still young, runs the floor really well. Definitely going to get you block shots. Defense, they play defense, and I think he's on the best defensive team in the league, the Thunder. And so I think that's definitely why he's there. He clean close, but Victor Wembanyama is Victor Wembanyama is fantastic. Period. You can't do anything with those long arms in the lane. You can forget it. You can't. I've never seen anything. I don't have a comp. I've never seen anything like it. He sticks those long arms up in the lane, the way he moves and everything like that. There's no offense. None. You can't. There's nothing you could do. Something like this is something, guys, and just take. You're never gonna see this again. Like a guy like Wembanyama as well. He could get this for 10 years as well. I don't think he's the MVP. We'll get to that in a second. But I think he's definitely too outstanding down the stretch. Sixth man, seems like Naz Reid every year is around here as well. This is kind of what he does. I think he's the modern day version of Kevin McHale. I don't think he was the best this year as well, but I think he was really good. Kellen Johnson for the Spurs. Spurs have a lot of good players. Shout out to him. Even cracking the rotation as much as you got a lot of deep young players with Stephon Castle, Jaron Fox, whatever. Kellen Johnson is a big player, gets a lot of run, gets key buckets. So definitely him. I think Kellen Johnson, might win it nationally, but I think that Jamie Vasquez, I think is fantastic. Been fantastic for Miami. I really do. Definitely like his game. Definitely too. He's kind of more what I think about with a good sixth man, like the old Vinnie Johnson type, like that. For those of you old enough to remember Vinnie Johnson, microwave. As soon as he comes in, here comes offense. As soon as he comes in, here comes offense. So you're not losing anything when you put him in. I think he was the best in the NBA this season. Most improved. Danny Advia, I had him earlier in the year, a little bit higher. I moved him to third. Shout out to him. I thought the numbers were much, much better over him. So I think he is really improved over the last year. 1 and 2 were very, 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 very close. Jalen Duran is almost at 20 points a game this year. So last year, he was about at 11 points a game. So he's jumped 8 points a game. And also, too, you look at the team he's on, the Pistons, big part of that success. So a lot of Pistons that your names you don't know, the two reasons why they've been really good is going to be Jalen Durant and Cade Cunningham. I think those are the two guys that are the real headliners for them as well. You got to be kidding me. The two headliners for them as well. But Nick Alexander Walker has been fantastic. His scoring average improved even more than Durant's and then Duran's as well. And I thought this guy, definitely on the Hawks, there's nothing else there, right? They traded away Trae Young, etc. I've got no problem giving this guy most improved player in the entire NBA as well. MVP. These three guys, I got no problem. I usually don't have three, but if you want to say one of these three is the MVP, go right ahead. I'm not too mad. Nikola Jokic is having a Hall of Fame, All-Star, fantastic triple-double season that no one's noticing. I think he's been terrific, averaging a triple-double. I'm not sure he's not the best passer in the league, and that's including guards. Great skill player, very durable, plays every night. Scores 20, get you 10 rebounds, no problem. 10 assists, no problem. Fantastic, carrying the Nuggets as he always does. Nuggets, one of the better teams in the league. No one's noticing. He's been terrific. Nikola Jokic. Victor Wembanyama, I know a lot of people want to make him the MVP. I do have him ahead of Jokic because I think he's on a better team because that's how close it is. Offensively, lately, he's been good. I don't think he's great offensively yet. Not yet. I think he's good as he is, as excited as everybody is. I think there's still room for him to get better offensively. He's not a dominant offensive player all the time, as great as he is defensively. So that's why I didn't put him there yet. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still the best. That's not as cool to say, but I definitely think this guy is the MVP. This guy, great on defense. He wasn't in the top 3, but he's certainly in the top 5. As well, his scoring, great in all facets. I think he's fantastic as well. SGA as well. There you go. All right. Let's go ahead and talk a little baseball. Let's shift to the Orioles. There's changes, folks, in Birdland as well. So interesting to see what happened here in Birdland this year. So the Orioles now, for years and years and years, right, we're talking about the great minor league system that the Orioles have, the great minor league players that the Orioles have. Now it's changed, right? So a lot of these minor league players that we had that were so great are now in the MLB. They're no longer there. Dylan Beavers is there. Sam Basayo is there. Colton Cowser now. Jackson Holiday, all these guys. They're now no longer prospects. They're graduated. They're MLB players. So also, too, you had to trade for Shane Baz. So they gave up a lot of their draft haul last year in that. Caden Bodine, Slater DeBron, a lot of those guys who were on the list are now playing elsewhere in different organizations. So now, what do we have left? So now let's check out the new list. So now, rebuilding, following the Keys game tonight, a lot of these guys are like in Frederick. So that tells you where we are right now. So no longer this is a top 10, top 15 list. Now we have a little bit more growth. Not exactly a top 10 organization, but we'll see how it goes here as well. Let's talk about some names that aren't there in the top 10, right? Vance Honeycutt, first round pick not that long ago as well. Still in Frederick. Last year in Aberdeen, they didn't move him up a level. Yeah, that's not. So definitely defensively, he's fantastic. I definitely think there's a lot there, a lot of natural ability, good spring. So I think there's definitely hope there that he gets better. We'll go ahead and check that out. Patrick Riley has a fantastic live, incredible arm as well. Definitely had some injury issues. So I don't think he's going to be in the majors this year, but definitely keep your eye on him. Braxton Bragg, kind of same injury issues as well. That I think that's going to prevent him actually from being in the majors this year, even though he's 25. Very live arm as well. Griff O'Farrell is a guy, kind of him and Honeycutt in the same category. Didn't hit as well as he had hoped. Very good to field as well, but definitely needs to improve at the plate as well. And Nestor German is a guy I think the Orioles definitely going to keep an eye on. Here's another guy, flamethrower. I do think it's possibility you'll see him this year as well, but not a top 10 prospect. Not in my opinion. All right, here are your top 10 prospects as well. And let's go ahead and check that out. Everybody argues with me whenever I say I like Creed Williams. There's always some dodo bird always, he's not good. Creed Williams, I think, is in now. I'm putting him in the top 10 with my chest out, because this guy, all he has done is hit at every level. Now he's in Norfolk. He's a definite power hitter. He definitely has major league power as well. Is he ever going to be good enough behind the plate? I don't know. That's the one question. I think it's a fair question. But this guy is not just a guy that, looks good in clips. Like, there's enough evidence of good hitting, of solid hitting, of good power. I'm putting him in the top 10. I don't think there's a question about it. And I don't think we're that far from seeing him. I think 2027 is a real possibility for the young player. Aaron Estrada, I think, is a highlight film on defense if you ever watch him as well. 21 years old. I don't know if he's I don't know if he's a Jackson Holiday level or whatever. I definitely think he's a guy who can get into the top 100 prospects. We'll see. I can see him having a Beavers type path because he's a solid hitter with great speed as well. Backing up a bit is Enrique. So kind of the same. Like we talked about, all the physical tools are there. Definitely the great stolen base speed. Definitely the great defensive prowess as well. We know he's not going to be a power hitter. He's more of a legs guy. He's just not hitting enough, I think, to go ahead and put him in that category. I think if he can, we'll see him for sure, but I don't think he's going to have any role in the 2026 Orioles. Cup of coffee, as they say. Look for him like August, September, something like that. I think that's possible as well, if he can have a good season in Norfolk as well. It could be sooner if he really plays well. So we're still here at the beginning, so we'll see. Trey Gibson, I think, is outstanding as well. I definitely think they were actually, I think, considering him for rotation. I don't think we're that long away from seeing Trey Gibson in the Oriole uniform for real. You got to obviously see how he does in the minors as well, but throws well. I think, like you talk about prospects with injuries, he's kind of the last one standing, Trey Gibson as well. So definitely two I think definitely think the rotation as well. We'll talk about Zach Eflin and all, but I don't think this that far away as well. Sasquatch is what they call it. Boston Bateman is huge, literally 6'6", 6'7". This is what they want it to look like. Big, strong guy. Randy Johnson is not, that's overcooking it, I think, as well, but he's just a big hard thrower on the left side. I think this guy is always going to have a place as well. Can he get his control to the point where he can go ahead and be a starter? I think this is one of, if not the best rotation guy in the Orioles organization, because you're not going to find guys like this all around. They're going to get calls about him for sure, but this guy's going to throw 100 from the left side. Very young. He's a ways away though. He's not 2020. I don't think that's. I don't think it's this year. I mean, maybe that's 28, but he's a year or two away. I think he's still a ways away before you actually see him as well. Top 5, Esteban. Yeah. Again, ways away. Electric stuff. Some people might have him higher. I don't blame him for that as well. I think definitely too, I can see him in the top 100 prospects. He hasn't really performed yet at minor league levels yet. Really only the very lower level, international, etc. Let's see him. I want to see how he does in Norfolk, not in Norfolk, but like Delmarva and Freddie. See if he can dominate that as well. Kind of like the guy at the top of the list there. But I think he's an interesting prospect. I think he's definitely got electric stuff. Very young, ways away, but electric stuff. This guy's a little bit closer. Jose De Leon stuff I think is almost as good, but I think he's almost ready. He's more refined as a pitcher. He can pitch. I think he's kind of underrated with his pitch selection and everything like that. I think definitely too, he's a guy with a lot of talent as well. Here's another guy in Frederick right now, Ike Irish. On the roster, I saw him listed as a catcher. I think that's in play. I think it's interesting to see. I think he's going to be more outfield as well because he was a college catcher. I think he's going to be more outfield and catcher, but we'll see if they give up on a catcher. Big for these two guys as well. Not great in his start last year, but it was a small sample. Too early to tell. Let's see how he does this year in Frederick, along with Wima Aloy, who's a terrific college player as well. He was really good last year in the minors. That's why I have him ahead of Irish, even though he was drafted below. I think this guy is for sure. It's anything like we saw during the College World Series, during baseball. Definitely a National Player of the Year, outstanding number 2. And Nate George is eye-popping to watch. If he can hit home runs, he's every tool. He was outstanding at the low levels, outstanding at the guys. The only top really MLB 100 prospect, and I think he's definitely the number 1 for the Orioles. There you go. That's how I see it. The new prospect list for the Orioles. All right. We're calling this an Orioles Weekly Report. We may call it This Week in Orioles. We'll see. But basically, we're going to talk about the Orioles week here. Obviously, similar to like what we do with the Ravens. We cover one game. The Orioles play 7 games. So we're going to cover all their transactions, the whole week in general, etc. What went on? Cade Povich was called up from Norfolk, and Yasmin Arano was sent to the 15-day IL reactive of April 2nd. Little surprised is Povich. Little surprised. I think okay. I think they're just waiting on Kramer on purpose, though. I do think that. I was kind of thinking that, but he is going to be in the rotation from what we've seen here. Although I think just got to get him right. I think that's a thing as well. Brandon Young, not bad in that first start. Not bad at all. I think good for him. I think he was called up, gave 5 good innings. I thought he was really good. Call him up, good stuff. So Brandon Young, I'm still kind of rooting for. I don't know if he's a good major league pitcher, but I'm certainly rooting for him. Dietrich Enns finally, after all these years, at 34 years old, makes his first opening day and almost immediately goes on the IL. The Orioles traded for Oh, here we go. Orioles traded for Braden Smith. Traded Braden Smith to St. Louis Cardinals, Nick Rackett. So definitely getting an extra left-hand bullpen arm. Definitely, I kind of feel the churn that they want to do with the roster already. Last year they had to do it, but I think this is kind of the way they want to roll. Like always with the churn of the off season as well. Last night, right before the stream, we talked about I was putting it in, and Zach Eflin was going to have a second opinion right before I was supposed to come on. Then it was announced that he had UCL construction, Tommy John surgery, as it's more often known, will miss this year and the next year. Terrible for Zach Eflin as well. You know, we thought he'd miss some time, but then he was able to go ahead and go at the start. Then even to the point where he won the fifth starter, and now no longer the fifth starter. So it didn't work out for him. So Zach Eflin, 2027, definitely probably finding a new team, obviously next year. For sure, again, Dean Crane will be up at some point, but it looks like for right now they're rolling with Cade Povich in the rotation. Jordan Westberg throwing progression this week. First major step, but there's no timetable for Westy's return. It'll be a while for Westy. It'll be a while. I don't think it's going to be a while for him. Jordan Westberg was supposed to be the sixth lad. So Jordan Westberg, I haven't heard anything yet. He's definitely been in Norfolk as well. So we'll definitely see him pretty soon as well. So, but Westy, I think probably we're not going to see him until at least the break as well. So definitely we're going to see Blaze Alexander, who's been impressive. Who else has been impressive? Taylor Ward, I think, has been fantastic. Everything but the homers. But he's not great in the field. But I think maybe that's just him getting the sea legs or whatever first week as well. But he's hitting. He's there. He's hitting in the number one spot for a reason, and he's hitting. Rico Garcia is really good there as well. Gunnar Henderson is leading the team in home runs. This looks like the Gunnar Henderson we missed all last year. I didn't see he's looked more like Gunnar Henderson that we've seen so far this year than any time last year. So that's shout out to him. Not so great start. Sam Basayo. Nah, he's not hitting well. Colton Cowser, every time I turn it on, every time I turn on Twitter or Facebook, somebody wants to send Colton Cowser down to AAA. That's a little soon, in my opinion, but not great, obviously, here at the start. Tyler O'Neill, great first two games this last week, not so great as well. I don't know how much he's going to play the way Dylan Beavers is going. Dylan Beavers didn't make the hot list, but he's been doing well. Orioles next week, San Francisco Giants on Friday, and the Arizona Diamondbacks as well. Two good teams. Giants, I think, are one of the better teams, I think, in the National League as well. I think definitely, too, they've gotten a lot of their act together. So shout out to the Giants actually getting it done here. I think they definitely can go to the playoffs. Diamondbacks, I don't think they're going to the playoffs as well. So I think that's a good opportunity for the Orioles to get in as well. And we're not getting former Oriole Corbin Burns, who's still injured here as well. And some are going to disagree with me, but this was the best player last week. Trevor Rogers, let's just say he's the ace now. He's going to get the Corbin. I mean, this guy is – when is the national media going to realize how good Trevor Rogers has been the last few weeks as well? I mean, even his bat looks good, if that makes sense. He gives up less than 3 runs every time he pitches. Even he struggled one inning, barely, and that's it. 6 good innings, no hits, very efficient. Trevor Rogers, player of the week. Thank you, guys. It got it off. Thank you for joining us here on the Ravery Sports Podcast. Enjoy your day.